Moving to arts and entertainment and to an original way to support the state of Israel. He's not your typical rapper, but acclaimed British hip-hop artist Samuel Green, better known as Antithesis, is using his music to express his Zionism. Branding himself as the Zionist rapper, Antithesis addresses various issues affecting Israel and the Jewish community worldwide. After he recently made Aliyah, Antithesis spoke to IBA's Efrat Batat about the message he wishes to come across with. We'll hear that interview shortly, but first, let's take a quick look at his latest music video, Proud to be a Zionist.
Set the record straight, fed up with all the man proclaiming all this hate, no room for debate, so hold up and wait, cause Antithesis is coming to step up and state, the movement on my people be getting this stick, equated with racism and other bullish. Well, if you think that, bruv, you're just foolish, so shut up and listen to my hip-hop schooling. Yo, we're talking freedom, emancipation, a homeland for a persecuted nation, liberation, democratization, a dream fulfilled, a Jewish safe haven for
In terms of my message, what I want to show is that you can be proud to be a Zionist. You know, today it's difficult sometimes being a Zionist, particularly in the diaspora. You hear a lot of negative messaging about Israel. I think it's important to remember there's a lot of great things about Israel which we should be proud of.
How do you define Zionism to the younger generation?
I think in the broadest sense, Zionism is believing in self-determination for the Jewish people in the land of Israel. On the personal level, I think that it means coming to live here and participating in the Jewish future.
And you've done that, you've taken the challenge, you've come all the way, and just recently you've made Aliyah. Tell us a little bit about that experience.
Well, I made Aliyah 2 weeks ago through the Jewish Agency's new Red Carpet program. It was a pleasure. I'm there with Olim from around the world, made the bureaucracy a lot easier, and now I'm a fully-fledged Israeli citizen and looking forward to taking up that responsibility.
We have to talk to you in a few months from now to see how that experience is going on. Now, I want to ask you, with names of albums such as the Israel Question and United Kingdom of Racism, you're tackling some serious issues, aren't you? What sort of response are you receiving? Not necessarily from the Jewish crowd.
You know, the response has been broadly positive. You know, a lot of people, particularly among Jews, who identify with the messages. My non-Jewish friends have also, you know, it's been interesting for them to hear something that's a bit different from what they would hear normally. Sometimes you get some negative reactions, you know, which is par for the course. I think it's probably better to be polarizing than keep everyone happy. So that's fine by me.
Now, your songs deal with the situation in Israel. How would you describe the most challenging issues right now facing our country?
Well, I think, you know, the obvious one is clearly the situation with the Palestinians, but I think, you know, some that don't get enough focus, you know, the religious-secular divides. I think there's also questions about integration of immigrants into Israel, the Ethiopian Olim, more recently the Russian Olim, and also, you know, a general issue about poverty in Israel and how do we address the fact that there are a lot of people here living under the poverty line. It's not a situation that's unique to Israel at all, but it's still an important thing that we should try to deal with.
I also want to stress that most of the proceedings from your albums go to charity. Is that so?
That's right, yeah. I mean, for me, it's mostly about the message, but in order to encourage people to purchase, you know, I don't take any of the money for myself. The money is either invested in the project or we donate at the moment to the MIAs. That was a song I wrote about the MIAs, was one of the first ones, and it's an issue that's close to my heart.
A Mother is Waiting at Home.
That's right.
Has that taken up a different meaning now in light of the Gilad Shalit campaign, the campaign to free him?
Well, I updated the song after in 2006, where there were three soldiers kidnapped, and you know, it's a song that the youth movements around the world do use to educate about the issue still. I hope he will come home soon.
And finally, I'd like to ask you, Antithesis, you have been listed as one of the most influential people who have helped shape Britain's young Jewish community. What can you tell us about that generation right now in Britain?
I think it's a generation with some challenges. Unlike our parents' generation, we don't face a hugely overt anti-Semitism, although I do believe there's still sort of racism under the surface. So there's a big tendency, on the one hand, to assimilate. On the other hand, there's a tendency to kind of return to religion, become more religious. But it does seem to me that most of the biggest activists choose to leave and come either to Israel or, in fact, perhaps to the United States, because I don't see a huge positive future for Anglo Jewry, being perfectly frank, in the very long term.
And on a personal note, where do you hope to see yourself in a few years from now?
Well, who knows? I certainly, I want to be continuing with my music, and I certainly want to be somehow contributing to the improvement of the future of the Jewish people. How that will manifest itself remains to be seen.
On that optimistic note, we have to say thank you, and that's a wrap.